y'all. We are WERUradio. We are the home of the urban sound, the pride. I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all don't come and get George ass out of here today, if y'all don't come and get George out of here, honey, to tear this radio station up. Now we're supposed to be talking about Kevin Hart.
And we are.
No, we're gonna be here till 7. We're not leaving at 6. We're gonna be here till 7. Now we have talked about he done brought up the situation to talk about Oprah. Then talk about Oprah and Iyanla Van Zant and da. So I'm like, oh my God, you are not going to do this to Oprah. Now could you please explain to the people what you said?
I don't recall.
About Oprah.
I don't recall.
He said Oprah. He said the only reason Iyanla Van Zant got that show on Oprah because on Oprah Network because she went begging and crying back then. I said, oh my God, you're just telling the end of the story, the beginning of the story. Let's take it back to the beginning. So I'm trying to make this short so we can go on and talk about this Kevin Hart situation. But I was saying, no, it was that Oprah was telling Iyanla that, you know, she wasn't ready for her own show. And Iyanla's whole thing was, well, why am I not ready? How can you tell me I'm not ready? When you're off, you let me fill in and host your show for you when you off. And so then it's just like, you're not ready. So then it's in the midst of her going through this with Oprah, talking about you're not ready, and then you let me fill in for you, and somebody else then called me from another network saying, hey, we want to offer you a show, we think you're good, and da-da-da. So it's like, okay. So then Iyanla went back to Oprah and told her, listen, another network then got in contact with me, and they think I'm ready, and they want me to do a show, and da-da-da on their network, and blah. And Oprah said, okay. She said, well, I feel you're not ready, but if you feel you're ready, and you want to go to that network, and you want to do that show, then by all means, go and do that show. Because I didn't want her to feel like I was trying to hold her here and stop her from doing what she wanted to do. So fast forward, Iyanla went on and she did the show, and it was over with ABC, and come to find out the person that she met with that was talking to her was Barbara Walters. So then when she got over there and Iyanla sat down and she talked to Oprah, when she came back to Oprah, she said, when I was over there, I realized what Oprah was saying when she said I wasn't ready. So when she was saying she wasn't ready, it was just like the production value, you know, what goes into putting the show together. You're ready to come and host the show, but what all goes into the show to put the show together, to make the show work, that's what I meant when I was saying you're not ready. And then Iyanla said, I went over here to these people, and I'm Iyanla Van Zant, but they didn't even give me an office. They gave me a desk and set me behind a cubicle. And she said, I felt so insulted. I felt so embarrassed. And then she said, all the other stuff that she went over there and she did, and the stuff that she thought she was going to get like everybody else, she didn't get. And so she said, I just felt so disrespected over there. And now I see what Oprah meant when she said I wasn't ready, because all the stuff that went into putting her show together on their network, she wasn't ready for that. The production, you know, get your theme song, get this together, get this, and how to, you know, get your producers, get all these different people, and da. So it's just like, you know, Oprah was right. And so then they sit down and they talked about it. But you all are trying to make Oprah look like she is the bad person because she tells people what they don't want to hear.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned all of that. But that is not accurate completely.
Wow.
But let's move apart from Iyanla Van Zant and move to some other examples of people who Oprah has put on. Dr. Phil. He would co-host the show many, many times. About a year later, Dr. Phil, produced by Oprah, had his own show.
About a year later?
About a year.
Hold on. And so, why Dr. Phil didn't do his show like a month later?
But
why did it take a year?
Iyanla Van Zant was on that on Oprah Winfrey.
But why did Dr. Phil take a year before he got his own show?
Excuse me, ma'am. You made your case. Can I make my case?
Okay, go ahead.
Now, as you were saying, Iyanla was on the show for approximately about 2 years. Iyanla was filling in on that show. When Iyanla first came on, she came on as the life coach. And Oprah as a guest.
Okay.
And then Oprah started letting her do the entire show as the host, doing
when she was out.
Man,
but not a week.
Can I finish?
Yeah, but you're setting it up as though she's just letting her do the show for a week or a month. No, it was just when she was out.
Oh, just when she was out.
Okay.
For about a year and a half, she was doing this.
Ever so often.
Dr. Phil was on the show every so often, and he got his own show about a year after being on there. Let's go to Nate Berkus,
Okay.
the designer, who would appear on the show every now and again, not even a host, as a guest.
Right.
Oprah Winfrey, approximately a year and a half later,
Right.
gave him his own show. Let's rewind back to Iyanla Zant,
Okay.
who was on the show, who was standing there hosting,
Right.
was good enough to do it for a year and a half, but those two white men that were on your show had their own shows, but she wasn't good enough. Let's talk, sister.
No, it's
let's
not.
Let's talk, sister.
It's not that she wasn't good enough. Just
She
like
wasn't.
you said.
She wasn't ready.
Just like you
but
said.
What makes the other ones ready and she wasn't?
Because that year that they were on Oprah show, and then the year when they got their own show a year later, it's probably because they were putting the work in the behind the scenes to make their show work. She was showing them what they needed to do for their show to work.
Why was she showing?
Why wasn't she showing Iyanla? Because Iyanla was doing her own thing as a life coach. Iyanla was doing her own thing and having other people in her ear. Iyanla was not just sitting there and waiting on listening to Oprah Winfrey to give her the blueprint on how to get your show together and make your show work. Because if Iyanla was sitting over there and she was listening to Oprah and trying to get her show together on the Oprah Winfrey Network, she would never been sitting down with Barbara Walters trying to get her to come over to ABC to do her show. But because Iyanla was not focused on her own show on Oprah Winfrey Network, that's probably why she didn't get her show.
All right.
But fast forward, after all of that, Iyanla said, out of her mouth, I realized that Oprah was right. And now Iyanla, when she went and she had that sit down and conversation with Oprah, they talked about everything. Apologized and did all that. Yes, she was. And then a year later,
3, 4, 5.
she got her show.
5 years.
She got her show. She got her show.
Here's the thing.
She got her show.
Let's rewind.
No. She could have had her show earlier if she'd have calmed down and been patient.
Can I counter?
Go ahead.
All right. So you said that when Iyanla went to Oprah and said, "Hey, I have my own show. Somebody's offering me a show." As a friend, as a mentor, as someone who really means well, I know you got a show and I know you want to do it. But because you even said out of your own mouth, Oprah never told Iyanla why she wasn't ready. If you were really invested in someone's success, then you would say, Iyanla, I know you got a show, baby. I know they want to give you a show, but these are the things that I want to do, and these are the things that I think you can improve in, and this is the reason why I haven't offered you a show. But if you still want to go, but Oprah's words, and somebody look up the interview, Oprah's words to Iyanla on that interview was, if you want to go, I'm not going to hold you back.
Right.
But if your real intention was to secure and help her be better than she was, you would have invested those words like you did with everybody else.
But George, this is the issue. The issue is, what makes you think she didn't?
Because she said she
never
said she did.
Because the thing about it, but hold on.
Never said on that show.
She never said she did. She never said she did.
She never said she did.
And she never said she didn't.
So I'm going to assume after everything else that she said, and she did not say she said that, I'm going to assume that she didn't say it.
So, and I'm going to say this. When you look up to somebody, and you see what everybody know who Oprah Winfrey is and what Oprah Winfrey has done. And if I go to Oprah Winfrey, who is television, she is television. And if I go to Oprah Winfrey and I ask Oprah, I say, Oprah Winfrey, I want my own show. And if Oprah Winfrey say, Sophia, you're not ready, because she is television, that's all she has to say to me. I'm telling you, can I talk for me? For me, if I go to Oprah Winfrey, who is television, and tell her I want to do a television show, and she says, Sophia, you're not ready, that's all she has to say to me. Because she is who she is. But I know. But hold on. I'm gonna tell you. All she has to say to me is, Sophia, you're not ready, and that's enough for me. But I know, because she believed in me and she know who I am and she know what I want, when the time comes, she's going to come to me and she's going to have that conversation with me about why she's saying that I wasn't ready. But what you are giving me is that Oprah Winfrey, only thing that Oprah Winfrey has to deal with is Iyanla Vanzant. Oprah Winfrey is running a business. She has a school that she is putting together. She has a whole lot of projects that she has.
That was years later. That was years later.
But it's years later. But it's years and decades later. But it starts somewhere. It has to start somewhere. And then it's just like she has a lot going on. And then it's just like, when did she sit down and had a conversation with Mandela? She said I had a conversation with Mandela. But hold on. We're not talking about that. But this is what I'm trying to show you. She sat down and had that conversation with Mandela years before that school came into existence.
Okay.
And the reason that she had the conversation with Mandela and she bring up that the idea for the school came when she had the conversation with Mandela. So just because she don't do stuff and the stuff don't come overnight doesn't mean that she's not working on it. And when a person like Oprah has a reputation that she has, when she says that, you're not ready, I know that she is not saying that to hurt my feelings or try to hold me back because she think I'm going to be her competition one day. She's telling me because she honestly believes that I'm not ready, or she honestly know that I'm not ready.
But because if you tell me I'm not ready, you need to tell me why I'm not. What do I need? No.
I understand. You can't just tell me I'm not. You didn't hear it. I said she just has to tell me I'm not ready.
That's you.
But eventually, I know, because I know her and she knows me. She's going to tell me that.
When?
But why do I have to? But
if you could take the time, hold on. If you could take the time to tell me I'm not ready, then you could take the time to tell me the reasons I'm not ready.
I don't have time. I don't have time right now. This is not a conversation that I can have with you right now. But in the same token,
that makes no sense.
It does make, but it don't make no sense to you.
It makes no sense.
But the thing about it is, if Oprah says I'm not ready, you're not ready. It's like, okay, well, if I feel that Oprah is trying to hold me back and she don't want to give me what I think I need, then get up off my own ass and go get my own show. Stop looking to Oprah to put me on TV. If I want to be on TV, get off your ass and go and put yourself out there and do the work that you have to do to put yourself on TV.
That's not the conversation we're having.
It is the conversation, because it's just like
the
Oprah.
Conversation we're having is that Oprah took Iyanla aside and said, "You're not ready."
Right.
And so Iyanla's supposed to sit there like a child and say, "Okay." If you can take the time out to tell me I'm not ready, then you can explain to me why I'm not, and so I can work on the things that I'm deficient in.
And she's going to do that,
but
she's not doing it soon enough. She's not doing it soon enough for you. She's not doing it soon enough. Because she didn't tell me when she said I'm not ready.
If you took the initiative to take the conversation and say you're not ready, that it only took a few more minutes, and these are the reasons why. Finish the sentence.
Okay. But well, listen. Well, growing up, a lot of us, we wanted to do things. But our parents told us, "You're not ready. You're not ready for that."
They told us why.
No, they did.
My mama did.
They just said, "Trust me.
When your mama,
you're not ready."
When your mama said, "Don't,"
you're not ready.
When they
for that.
said, "Don't touch the fire," what did they say? And you said, "Why?" Because it's hot. Otherwise, you'd have put your dumbass hand in the fire.
But some of them, they told them it was hot, and they still put their dumbass hands in the fire.
But at least they understood the ramifications of what the hot was. So all I'm saying is, when Oprah said,
hold on, that's the whole. You're making my point exactly. So what's the point in you explaining to somebody that something is hot, and they still take the initiative and burn themselves anyway?
Because at least I have the information. I would then have the information to make better decisions and better ideas on what I need to do to improve myself. Your parents told you not to touch the fire because it was hot. Your parents told you not to touch the fire because it was hot, but you still went and put your finger in the fire. So you had the information to make a better decision. That doesn't have anything to do with the other.
But you brought up that example.
Exactly. What I'm saying is, if you say, "Don't do X, Y," don't go over the edge of the cliff. Why? Because you'll fall. You're not good enough. Well, what are the reasons I'm not good enough? Because if you're just telling me I'm not good enough, it's not good enough. You need to tell me, okay, you talk too fast, you talk too slow, or you overtalk your guests, or you're not eloquent enough, your vocabulary too short, or your hairstyle needs to change, the way you dress. Any number of reasons or things, deficiencies that you're telling me I'm not good enough. Telling me I'm not good enough is not good enough. And so when Oprah sat on that stage with Iyanla and said, I told you you weren't good enough. And then she comes and says, well, someone said I am good enough. Well, the reason I told you weren't good enough is because X, Y, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But if you still want to do this show, knowing all of these things, and I told you you're not good enough, go on ahead. But if you don't equip a person with the information they need to make the improvements, to make the adjustments, to be better, or to be ready, then you have also crippled that person. So just saying you're not good enough is not a basis to then say, well, you want to do your own show.
So I'm going to say this one more time. Hopefully you'll get it this time.
I won't.
She said you're not ready. And because she didn't explain to her right then why she wasn't ready, doesn't mean she wasn't going to tell her.
But she
when
didn't.
The time was right.
When was the time right? How is she going to be better if you tell somebody they're not? How is she going to get better?
But let me say this.
How's she going to get better?
But hold on, let me say this.
How is she going to get better?
She's going to get better when Oprah has that conversation with her.
So
just because she didn't have the conversation with her right then doesn't mean the conversation wasn't coming.
Don't we have to take a break?
And then this is probably our last break because it's already 5:30. But then I want to say this. Also, part of this is Iyanla, when she went to ABC, she couldn't be who she was on Oprah's show. They watered down who she was. So the Iyanla that we came to know from Iyanla Fix My Life, she couldn't give all that over there on ABC because they had rules and regulations and guidelines and everything. So she had to fall up under their guidelines. So she couldn't be her authentic self. So then it's just like, you really showed Oprah. You done went over here, and they done told you they wanted you to come bring you over here and give you your own show. But what they didn't tell you was that you was going to have to water down what you do. You can't bring what you bring over here like you did. Same thing they did to Wendy Williams. You can't, we're going to give you a television show, but you can't come over here and act like you act on the radio. But see, they don't tell you that. So then Iyanla went over there and all of this stuff done happened to her. So then it's just like, well, child, ain't me. They done brought me over here saying they're going to give me my own show. No, they brought me over here to give me a show, and they dictating to me who I'm supposed to be. And that's not what I was.
And she would not have had to go through that if Oprah would have taken. If Oprah would have
she
taken.
wouldn't have had to go through that.
Taken the next couple of extra couple of. Listen. You do not. When you get up. When you're. No. You are talking foolishness. Because all the thing about it is, you're saying that Oprah has to take the time to explain to her why you're not ready right now. No, I didn't.
Yes,
say,
you did.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you said. Well, when's she gonna tell her? If
you're taking the time to tell somebody you're not good enough, then you can, as a mentor, meaning someone well, but you didn't really in the beginning because you didn't. Because if you did, you would have told her then. Well, these are the things that you're not good at. These are the things that you need to work on. This is why you can't have a show. This is why you're not ready.
She can have that conversation with her right now.
When's she gonna have it?
I don't know when she gonna have it. But
in the meantime, she gave Dr. Phil a show and she gave Nate Berkus a show.
A year later.
But a year later, she was still sitting on your platform.
A year later,
she was still sitting on their platform.
A year later,
and did she have the conversation?
A year later,
Iyanla about what she wasn't good at. Whatever.
A year later. So she just has to be patient and wait for her to have that conversation with her.
Okay.
You know the conversation is coming. Like I said, honey, if Oprah, who is TV, tells me I'm not ready, then I'm not ready.
That's not good enough for me.
Okay.
That's not good enough.
But then you need to say, well, Oprah, well, you say, Oprah, well, why I'm not ready? I don't have time to explain. Well, hold on, let me finish. George, Oprah, why I'm not ready? Sophia, why I'm not ready? George, I will explain this to you at a later time, but right now I can't we can't have this conversation because I got too many things that I'm dealing with right now.
That's bullshit.
So trust me.
That's bullshit.
So see, so now, hold on. So now you want Oprah to drop what she doing.
If you can sit there and tell me I'm not ready, you can have the conversation to tell me why I'm not ready. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You telling me, oh, I don't have time right now. Well, then what you telling me is bullshit.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's just what I'm telling you is I don't have time.
So
right now.
Then you don't.
I don't have time.
You don't have time for me.
But I don't have time.
But you have time to tell me I'm not good enough.
Yeah, the short answer is yes.
Okay, well,
I have time. We have time.
They have
to
somebody else that believes in me. So I'm gonna go over there.
And so you went over there, and how did that work out for you, Iyanla?
But
how did it work out for you?
Had you given me the equipment, had you given me the tools that would have equipped me to be better and know better, I would have done better.
But listen.
So what you did in effect was you gave her one leg to walk on.
What that did was that taught Iyanla to get her ass somewhere.
That told her not to listen to Oprah ass no more.
No, it couldn't have told her that because she on her network. So if she didn't listen to Oprah ass no more, she wouldn't be on her network. What that taught Iyanla was when somebody tells you something.
She didn't tell her anything.
She told her she wasn't ready.
That's nothing.
But listen, she went over there to ABC, and what they taught her by disrespecting her, not giving her an office, but they gave her a cubicle. What they did by telling her you can't be your authentic self, you got to water down who you are. They taught Iyanla how to be patient when it comes to this business, because you are going into a business and you're going to have patience. And when somebody says that you're not ready, it doesn't mean that you're not good and you're not good at what you do. It means that what you want right now, you're not ready for that. You're not ready for a TV show. Because do you know what goes into a television show, Iyanla?
See how you just did that?
Yeah.
Oprah could have done that.
But
Oprah didn't.
But
Oprah didn't.
But just like I told you.
But she didn't.
But just like I told you. She didn't do it that because she got a lot of stuff to do. And the only reason I'm able to do it, only reason I'm doing it because we sitting up here talking, and just like now.
But she's talking to her.
But let me say this.
I'm done.
Just like we sitting up here, we talking. We supposed to be paying me. We supposed to be playing music and commercials and all of that, but we have talked for 30 minutes straight. We have talked for 30 minutes straight. And you know why? Because
you care.
Because
and you want to explain to me what you mean and what you feel. Like Oprah should have done with the Iyanla.
By me sitting up here and having this conversation with you, the music suffers, the commercial suffers, and that's what Oprah was trying to get Iyanla Van Zant to see, is that you're not ready, and we can have this conversation right now because I have to play music.
But you
I have to play commercials.
You just explained it.
But the radio station paid the price for it.
But you still could have explained it.
But Oprah Winfrey Network, she couldn't take that kind of hit. Trying to explain to somebody you're not ready.
Okay.
Listen, let me read, because Jana is telling you. Jenna is.
I ain't worried about no damn Jana.
Jenna is texting me. My phone is going off. Jenna wants to fight you. I think Jenna to quit. Y'all need somebody else to do the morning show. I think Jenna has quit. Let me see. She said, ooh. Jenna says, did she ask Oprah why? I am cursing at George. It wasn't Oprah's responsibility.
I guess it wasn't. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's not about being right and being wrong.
Oh, it is.
It is not about being
when
right
I'm having
and being wrong.
When I'm having a debate, it's always about being right. Always.
Oh my God. Y'all see, and this is my supervisor. That's why this is my supervisor and not my boss, because my boss is in heaven, and my boss would never torture me like the supervisor does, honey. Oh my God. This is like bottom line.
But this is a great conversation.
Bottom line,
because,
honey.
yeah.
But we supposed to be talking about Kevin Hart.
Oh, we still can.
Oh, it's 5:37, baby.
Okay.
We're going to be here till 7. We're going to get this conversation about Kevin Hart. And y'all see, every time this nigga bring his black ass in here, I never get to do the birthdays. I never get to do the birthdays.
No, I say,
next time you come in here, you need to come. You need to come around 3 o'clock, and I'm going to do the birthdays at the beginning of the show in the 2 o'clock hour. Because every time they come up in here, I never get to do the birthdays. But yes, honey, let me. We're gonna take a break, and we come back, and I don't care how long we go over today. We get ready to take a break. Y'all ain't gonna hear us for the next 2 days. We are talking about this Kevin Hart, but just like this Monique conversation and the Oprah Iyanla, y'all just wait till we get to this Kevin Hart.
Tell them they can call 678-839-9378.
They don't want to call her because they're
scary.
That's Jenna, Jenna and Jayla and Michelle.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Jay.
Oh my God.
Jay. This your husband. This your husband. He said, Sophia, you're right. Thank you, Jay. Oh, this is Basic Jayla. Oh my God. Basic Jayla said, money talk, BS walk. Those white men had money to make it happen.
Right.
That should be motivation to go start working on it, honey.
Right.
Birthday. Look, he say birthday. But see, it's just like I'm saying. See, and then I'm going to say this and we're going to go to break. And we're coming back. We talking about Kevin Hart. I don't care how late we stay there. Okay. We talking about Kevin Hart. Okay. So I'm going to say this. The same thing. This is what Ellen DeGeneres. Because a lot of people look up to Ellen DeGeneres because when Oprah was involved in this, Ellen had her show. Mm-hmm. She had her show. Mm-hmm. When she came out, Oprah was the therapist on that show where she came out and told everybody that she was gay. Mm-hmm. After that, what happened to Ellen?
What happened?
They fired her. They got rid of her show, the Ellen show. Mm-hmm. Ellen didn't go to Netflix. Mm-hmm. She didn't go to HBO. Mm-hmm. She didn't go to Oprah. Mm-hmm. She didn't go to ABC. Mm-hmm. Ellen went to her bank account and got her own money, and she built her own empire. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why nobody can't follow Ellen's lead? Why Monique can't follow Ellen's lead?
I agree.
Why don't they go and take their own money and do their own stuff? If Oprah say you're not ready and you feel like you're ready, take your own money. Don't go somebody else. Go to ABC.
Agree. I don't agree.
Just get your own money and go do your own stuff.
Oprah didn't take her own money and do her own stuff.
Where'd she get the money from?
ABC and the, King World Distribution. Those are the people who gave her the money to distribute the Oprah Winfrey show.
Her check.
They gave her checks.
Her check. And then, her checks.
And then
her checks.
No.
See, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. See,
you don't.
He has a thing with Oprah.
You telling the host. No, I love. Oh my God, Oprah is a goddess to me. I absolutely. Anybody can tell you that. I love Oprah. But I mean, even your heroes can have flaws. And so
everybody.
Exactly. So with as much as I love, laud, applaud, adore Oprah, I do think that things along the way, and she will agree, as a human, I think that could have been handled different. She thought she was handling the best she could at the time, and the way that she could at the time. But sometimes when you're so close to a situation, you deal with it in the way that you think you should, but 5 years out, 4 years out, standing out, listening to other people's prime example, and then we're gonna go. When Oprah was doing it, I know, but you keep saying it and you never left. So it was the end of the Oprah show run, and she was doing the behind the scenes on OWN when OWN was first coming on, and there was a show, I don't remember exactly, they were covering something about gay people, and there was terminology being used in the show that was deemed offensive. So because Oprah didn't know, she called the gay people on the staff, hey, is this offensive? I didn't know, but she'd already done the show. If you can take the time out to ask all these people and get the input and the inquiry to figure it out, you could have done that with that woman. And my position still stands. Iyanla Vanzant had to wait almost 2.5 years before she got her shot. And when she came to you as a mentee and asked for your input, go. Never, this is why you shouldn't. I think it's a bad idea, but if you feel like after I've given you this information, you still want to go ahead.
It took her 2.5 years because she wasted a year over there with ABC, but go ahead.
No, she was over there still with Oprah for like 2 years. What I'm saying is, she went over there and went through all of that. If you would not have allowed your friend, somebody you mentor, to go through that if you could have prevented it. You knew she wasn't ready. So at that time when she said somebody want to give me money, they setting you up, baby. And this is why. Blah, 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 blah. But you never did that. You allowed her to go through that.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
She did it on her own. She made the decision. She told us she's not gonna hold it. If you feel you're ready to go on over
As
there.
my friend Sophia,
Mm-hmm.
if I felt within my heart and soul
Mm-hmm.
that you were getting ready to get $100 million,
Mm-hmm.
I would say get that money, but I think A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I would not be your friend if I did not speak those things. Now, you still can make the decision that you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
You still do what you think is best for you and your career and your pocketbook. But at the end of it all, my conscience is clear, and I feel as a friend I have done my job.
But how you know they didn't have that conversation? And Iyanla still made the decision to go over there.
Because Oprah said they didn't.
But how you know they didn't? Oprah ain't say that.
Oh, they're calling them.
Oprah ain't say that. But then on top of that, it's just like it's going back to your other scenario. Your parents told you not to put your hand in the fire. It was hot. So Oprah told her not to go over there, and they had the conversation. They told her why not to do it, but you still did it.
Go right.
Go home. Get out of here. James, come and get this. Listen,
And tell James
it is 5:44.
Tell James
Oh,
we ain't stuffing no turkey.
but my child Ty in New York, he said I agree with George. She said I agree with Mr. George.
Thank you, Ty.
But you know, Ty smoke weed. I'm going to Miss Sophia, hold it down right here on WERUradio with the home of the urban sound, the pride. Come on, baby, let's rock. Coming back, we are talking about Kevin Hart, unless we strike up another conversation during the